Thank you so much. Today, the religious caucus comprising of the clergy of all different faiths, drawn from the counties of Kenya, met in an extraordinary meeting at the DCP headquarters to deliberate on a number of issues affecting our nation. And I want to say that the country is hurting from a number of unresolved issues, ranging from the extrajudicial killings, mysterious deaths, and even industrial strikes. I want to start by saying that the recent government move to compensate the victims of the extrajudicial killings and other similar atrocities is a welcome move, since the affected families need that support. However, compensation without justice and true repentance is a help too little, too late. The blood of those who died mysteriously and brutally in the hands of those who ought to have defended them is crying. Justice must involve unmasking the perpetrators of these heinous acts and the government making a public apology. We are particularly perturbed by the recent case of Simon Waroe, who died mysteriously in a police cell in the Central Police Station in Mvita in Mombasa County. The unexplained transfer of this man from Nairobi to Mombasa, and even the inconsistencies in terms of the communication coming from the different actors, is telling you something is not right. The family is at pain, and so are we. It is not good to see such a young man die and succumb out of no reason, out of no explained reason why such a thing should happen. It is not the first time we are seeing that, but this should serve as the last moment that we see such thing happening. So we are asking the government to probe this matter. IPOA must be able to get involved and just do what is right. Tell the country what is happening. We need to feel safe even when we're in the hands of police. We cannot expect our young children, the youth, to die in the hands of those people that needed to defend it. So this is disturbing to all of us. And as a clergy, we want to condemn and seek a quick probe into this matter.
Yes.
Also, we want to address here today that the cardinal rights and the freedom of worship in this country are being infringed day by day. We have the Religious Organization Bill 2024 that is currently before the Senate, which we call an upfront of the rights of the church. The bill seeks to introduce regulations that are unconstitutional and unbiblical. The proposal to establish a Religious Affairs Commission, with the registrar of the commission being an appointee of the president, and with the qualifications that are secular and not religious, is telling you something. We want to curtail the freedom of the church and that freedom that is enshrined in the Constitution to worship our God. Therefore, we say this is unacceptable. It must be resisted. It must be withdrawn from the Senate. And the government must cease to introduce through the back door on legislative agenda that is not progressive, but retrogressive. Also, we have noted with concern as a caucus that the government has introduced levies to the tune in excess of 10,000 Kenya shillings for conducting crusades and keshas and other religious meetings, while other groups, including the politicians, do the same along the streets of the cities and in the rural areas. And this shows skewed application of fairness. And therefore we say that when we get to the streets to preach, we are not making business. We are not making money. Therefore, we wonder where this money is taken to. These levies must stop, and the freedom of worship must be allowed to be exercised in this country. Yes. On the current crisis within our education and health sector, we urge the government to move with speed and restore these vital services that these sectors provide. It is unimaginable that patients who are fully paid up members of the SHA cannot now access services in private hospitals because they have done their part to pay, but the government have failed to do their part to pay to these hospitals. Therefore, the government becomes the weaker agent on a system where the government insists it is working. It must be able, therefore, to address those strikes, including the lecture strike as well, that is paralyzing the education system in our higher institutions of learning. The time that is being lost compromises the quality of our education, and this has a ripple effect into the workforce meant to drive the socio-economic perspective of our nation. And in conclusion, as a caucus, we have agreed and resolved to activate our structures down to the grassroots, from the ward level, the village level, all the way to the national level. And we're asking our structures to engage now in prayers and a spiritual warfare, because we believe that Kenya, now where we are, this is a spiritual warfare. Sure. And we are rising up. Therefore, from this meeting, we are activating our system to engage the country into a spiritual warfare. People that are in authority must begin to take their position, because the church has also taken its position. And therefore, that is why we gather today to issue that statement to all of us. Thank you so much.